Man, how good does this Victory Monday feel, huh?
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, let's do this, everybody. It's a Monday edition of Locked On Lions, everybody, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Matt Derry with you on a Monday 11/11. Yes, Monday, November 11th and Tuesday, November 12th. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you to our everydayers who are out there that watch and listen to the program daily. One of our everydayers is our call of the day, which we will play for you later on in the program. You want to be call of the day? Go to our SpeakPipe voicemail system at speakpipe.com/Derry podcast page. By the way, I am back on Threads. At the real Matt Derry. So check me out there as well. Coming up on the program today, we got to talk about what happened last night. I know I did a post-game pod last night, but more reaction, more on what we saw last night, more on what the Lions played through last night to get arguably as good a win as they've had in years against a good football team on the road in prime time. We'll get into that coming up momentarily. Also, I have an apology from something I said last night in regards to Za'Darius Smith that I want to get into. We got the Pro Football Focus grades, top 5 and bottom 5 Lion performers on offense and defense from Pro Football Focus from last night's 3-point win over the Houston Texans. And as I said before, we will do our call of the day at the end of the show. Locked On Lions today is proudly brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNFL. Use the code all lowercase Locked On NFL to win $50 instantly when you play $5. What a time to be alive as a Lions fan right now. Seriously, 8-1, best record in the NFC, arguably the best team in the NFL. Some are saying it's still the Chiefs who are 9-0, but Kansas City's point differential is a plus 58. The Lions is a plus 113. Chiefs are squeaking by teams. They need a blocked field goal over the mediocre Denver Broncos just to win. The Lions are finding ways to win, blowing teams out. And last night, against the first place Houston Texans team, a team that won a playoff game last year, came back from down 19 at the half to win that football game, or down 16 at the half, to score 19 unanswered in the second half to win 26-23. And I heard from some Lion fans today, some folks that were down in Houston, and just been reading up and watching the videos. Dan Campbell in the locker room handing a game ball to those Houston guys. Aaron Glenn from Houston going home. Jake Bates from Houston going home. He gave another game ball to Carlton Davis as well, who we gave a game ball to on last night's show. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they continue to find ways to win. They continue to just through the adversity, power through it. Last night wasn't David Montgomery's best game. Last night wasn't Jared Goff's best game. Penei Sewell even had a couple of mess ups. The defense at times allowed CJ Stroud to have way too much time to throw. Some breakdowns early in the game. The Joe Mixon screen pass that went from left to right took him down inside the red zone. Jack Fox had a bad punt. Yet, down 23-7 at halftime, this team never gave up, never gave in. And they just finished that stretch, and I'm going to reach for it again, my trusty schedule. 4 games and 5 on the road. Remember when the schedule came out, we went, oh man, from October 13th to November 10th, that's a gauntlet. At Dallas, at Minnesota, Tennessee at home, at Green Bay, and at Houston. Let's say they split those 4 road games. Split would be good. Never easy to win in Dallas. Never easy to win in Minnesota. Oh my God, they got to go to Lambeau. Oh, at Houston on Sunday night against the first place Texans team that features CJ Stroud. They won all 4 games. All 4. And there was some stuff that happened during last night's game. Jared Goff gets a helmet-to-helmet shot in the second half. No call. No call on a roughing the passer. At the end of the game, and a couple people on Twitter, I think Evil Genius is one that hit me up on the old Twitter machine, and said, how about when Dan Campbell told the referee or the side judge, timeout when we get to 4 seconds? That's what the coaches tell the side judge. When it gets to 4 seconds on the clock, I'm going to call timeout. Then there was like 8 seconds left, and they called timeout, and they fixed it. But like Campbell's like, what's going on here? I don't want a timeout at 8 seconds. I want a timeout at 4. Now, did they catch a break in the second half when on that third down pass play, Terrion Arnold interfered with the receiver? Yes, they did. But it used to be the Lions that were the team that missed the long field goal, gave the other team a short field, and the other team would make the field goal. Do you remember that a couple of years ago in Minnesota? Maybe Dan Campbell's first year when he cried when Austin Seibert missed, Greg Joseph made, and we're like, this thing's never going to change. This thing's never going to turn around. They're 0-8 to start Campbell's first year. Yet now it's the opposition that is screwing up, and the Lions are taking advantage. 8-1, best record in the NFC. Only team with a better record is Kansas City. And like I said, Lions have basically doubled the Chiefs' point differential. And now you figure that rough patch of the schedule is over. You got back-to-back games against two bad AFC South teams. Jacksonville at home coming in this weekend. The Jaguars are what, 2-7? 2-8. They're terrible. Haven't won a game on the road all year. We're going to talk to our man Tony Wiggins, T-Wig, the voice of the Locked On Jaguars podcast on Thursday for the crossover. By the way, John Costco is going to join us tomorrow from Pro Football Focus. We've not had John on the show, PFF analyst to the stars. John Costco will join us tomorrow. But they get Jacksonville next week, and then the week after at 4-6 Indianapolis. And right now in Indy, they're furious. Joe Flacco's been a disaster. Anthony Richardson was benched. Kenny Moore, their captain and defensive stalwart at safety, is calling out his teammates, saying they don't work hard enough. So next couple of weeks, we could be talking about a 10-1 football team before the Lions face the Bears on Thanksgiving. And the Bears are a train wreck. Oh, my God. Anybody see that sideshow circus yesterday against Denver? Woo-hoo-hoo. The Bears, man. I love me some Bears. The Bears are they're adorable. They really are. Matt Eberflus was on a Chicago radio station this morning. He goes on every Monday morning on the Cap and Jay Hood show on AM 1000, a legendary Dave Kaplan. And they had Eberflus on, and his phone kept cutting in and out like 2 or 3 times. And Kaplan told him, your phone's as bad as your offense. Remember when everyone said, oh, the Bears can be a playoff team? Kevin Warren running the show should tell you all you need to know. But anyway, Lions have been great. Lions have been absolutely awesome. And in a night where they didn't have their best, like Dan Campbell said, don't go to the Lions website, go to their social media, watch the Dan Campbell speech in the locker room. When we're not at our best, but we still find a way to win. It's a lot of fun. They're America's team. I was doing Cleveland radio today, and they were talking about, now that the Browns are 2-7, should we root for the Lions? I'm like, they're America's team. They're fun. They got likable people. And it's a great story. I don't know if Cleveland fans should be rooting for Detroit, because if the Lions make the Super Bowl, that's another scratch off the list of teams that have never been to the Super Bowl. Browns and Lions are kind of the old school teams still on that list. All right. I have an apology I need to make. Last night I made a comment that I want to take back about the Za'Darius Smith not playing situation. We will do that coming up next. I'll give you an update on Sam Laporta and Taylor Decker as well from Dan Campbell today here on a Monday edition of Locked On Lions. And Locked On Lions today brought to you by our friends at 5 Hour Energy. They know that being a passionate football fan isn't just a hobby. It's a way of life. It takes a lot of energy to power through all-day tailgates, touchdown celebrations, or an agonizing second overtime, which is why they've created the Stand the Fan 5-hour energy shot with a special flavor called Fan Fuel. The energy shot made just for super fans like you, the fans who are at first in the parking lot and who are last to leave. we see you. That is for sure. All right. You know what gave me some Lions fuel last night? Jake Bates, baby, knocking in not just one, but two 50-yard plus field goals. It was awesome. 5 Hour Energy knows that no matter what team you root for, being a fan requires heart, soul, and a whole lot of energy. Whether you're prepping for the big tailgate or ironing your jersey, your game day to-do list is always a mile long. That's why the limited edition Stan the Fan 5 Hour Energy Shot is here to help keep you fueled throughout the season. I got my 5 Hour Energy. Look at this. This is live radio and it's fine. So I got my Stan the Fan pack right here, folks. It's legit. See, 5 Hour Energy, Stan the Fan. Woohoo! I got it. I need it. I use it. What's your fan fuel this week? Whatever it is, do it with a 5 Hour Energy. Available at 5hourenergy.com. Shipped nationwide. And Locked On Lions today, also brought to you by our friends at Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Monday Night Football tonight, Rams and Dolphins. Here's what you do. You pick more than or less than on at least 2 to 6 player stat projections for a chance to win 100 times your cash. Seriously, run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including our friends in California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. All right, tonight, Kyron Williams, more than or less than 70 yards rushing for the Rams running back. What about Tua? Is he going to throw for more than 1.5 touchdowns? You can make that bet. Do it at Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. I'm Matt Derry back with you on Locked On Lions right here in the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. John Costco, Pro Football Focus today. Tony Wiggins, the host of Locked On Jaguars, will be with us on Thursday as we will talk Lions and Jags in I'm not going to say it's going to be a big showdown by any stretch of the imagination, but you got to feel for the Jaguar fans, all 5 of them. That is a dumpster fire down there in Jacksonville. All right, last night I made a point. I said, why didn't Za'Darius Smith play? He was very active on the sideline in his street clothes. He was looking good. Guy had a lot of energy, was coaching up the young guys. He was even on the NBC postgame show saying, man, I can't wait to get started. I wanted to play, is what Smith said. But Dan Campbell told me to take the week off. I had said last night, what happened there? Why didn't Za'Darius play? Did his agent call the Lions and say, we only signed up for 17 weeks, 17 games, not 18 games? How about this story? It turns out, Za'Darius Smith was told by Dan Campbell, hey, listen, this was supposed to be your bye week in Cleveland, and you got traded to us. Why don't you take Wednesday and Thursday off? Za'Darius has a home in Florida, was ravaged by the hurricane. Why don't you go down to Florida, check on your house, come back up, be back for practice on Friday. We'll let you sit out Sunday's game and just get your sea legs under you, rest. We got this. We'll be all right without you. And guess what? Yeah, the Lions pass rush wasn't great. Yes, they need Big Z, but gave him the week off. How about that from Dan Campbell? Boy, was I wrong yesterday in even making any comment about an agent making a phone call or anything else. That's just Dan Campbell knowing his players. That's just Dan Campbell communicating with his guys. Hey, listen, get you ready for Jacksonville. Once you get off your legs, get off your feet, you'll play 17 games, not 18. That wouldn't be fair to you. Go down to Florida, check on your house, come back up. No rush. That is what true leadership is about. That is what Dan Campbell is about. That is what this team is about. And while Smith wanted to play, Campbell felt like, I want to give this guy some time off his feet, give him a week off, and then he'll be with us for the stretch run here as the Lions have 8 more games to play. That's true leadership. True leadership. That is why this coach is something special and why guys trust him and guys want to play for him. So Za'Darius Smith's on the last year of his contract. Or actually, he's on the first year of a 2-year deal. But regardless, the guys that are on the last year want to come back and play for a guy like this that gets it. I think it's a great story and very, very cool. All right, PFF grades. Let's talk to you about the top 5 and bottom 5 Lion performers from last night's 26-23 come from behind win over the Houston Texans. Let's start on defense. Best grade on defense last night was Carlton Davis, Lions cornerback with 2 interceptions, a 91.3 grade. Great stuff from number 23. Coming in second, Pat O'Connor, 86.5. All right. Brian Branch was third, 83.8. Ben Neiman, linebacker, 74.7. Aleem McNeil, 72.6. Not far behind James Houston, a 72 grade. His best as a Lion in years. Bottom 5 Lion performers from last night. Mekhi Wingo, the nose tackle, 40.3. Terrion Arnold struggled last night, 48.7. Jack Campbell, 49.0. A little bit surprising there. Al-Qadim Muhammad at a 53.8, fourth lowest. And Trevor Nowaski, fifth lowest at 56.6. Those are your top 5 and bottom 5 Lion players, according to Pro Football Focus at PFF.com. Highest graded Lion overall and on the offense, Frank Ragnow, the all-pro center, a 93 grade. Wow, that's unbelievable. Kevin Zeitler, right guard, 91.2. Penei Sewell, 82.2, third. Fourth on the Lions, Jamison Williams. All right, back from suspension, 74.1. J-Mo with a couple of nice grabs last night. And Sam Laporta, before going out with a shoulder injury, Dan Campbell saying today, it's day to day. He's going to be questionable for Sunday against Jacksonville. I'd sit him out this week. Let him rest. 72.8. Taylor Decker, by the way, also questionable for this week, but trending upward after missing yesterday's game, last night's game, due to a sore shoulder. All right, bottom 5 Lions from last night on offense. David Montgomery, 49.2 grade. Shane Zylstra, the Flying Zylstra brothers, 52.0. Khalif Raymond was third worst, 54.1. The Brock Party, Brocktober, Brock Wright, 55.3. Had a couple of missed blocks last night. And Jared Goff, of course, threw the 5 interceptions, yet the Lions still won, coming in at a 55.4. Those are your top 5 and bottom 5 Lion performers on offense from last night. Think about that on Jared Goff for a second. He threw 5 interceptions, 5, and they won. And what I loved about it was, look, one of them was a Hail Mary. One of them, he got hit from behind. It would have been a fumble when Skipper got beat, and it went up into the air, and the defensive lineman caught it. What I love, what Ben Johnson did, the Lions offensive coordinator, was he did not waver. He did not just say, nope, no more throws for Jared, and we're going to run and just do a bunch of bubble screens. He still had Goff throwing the ball downfield. He still had Goff, and they practiced this on Friday. The Dan Campbell said they went into a 2-minute situation. They practiced that third down play with St. Brown. Then they practiced Jake Bates coming out and nailing a 50-yarder. It was from 52. Who cares? Still was the same result. And don't forget, Jake Bates was released by the Houston Texans during training camp last year, 2023. Sweet revenge, Houston guy, awesome story. Awesome story. I've not decided yet what to do with the kicker list. Not decided what to do. Are we going to burn it? Do I just crumple it up and throw it? If I burn it, I don't know about lighting up paper in my office down here, at my home office here in the pod cave. If you have any ideas on what I should do with the kicker list, let me know. Should I crumple it up and chew it and eat it? Do I burn it? Do I make a video outside of me burning it? Do I cut it up with scissors? Do we hang it up somewhere? I don't know. But Jay, we got ourselves a kicker now with Jake Bates. I don't need to be reading off all the kickers from the past like I have in the past. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool stuff. All right. Let's pay some bills. We have a new sponsor I'm excited to tell you about. We're going to get into that momentarily. And then our call of the day at speakpipe.com/dairy podcast page. If you want to leave a voicemail for the show, we might play your call of the day. We will do that coming up next, right here on Locked on Lions. All right, new sponsor alert, everybody. Omaha Steaks. Nothing delivers comfort and joy quite like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. This year, skip the holiday hustle and bustle and save 50% off gourmet gifts site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, get a $30 reward card when you shop early and score an extra $30 off with promo code NFL. With 5 generations of experience, they consistently deliver the world's best steak experience, and the gifting experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to deliver the perfect gift with thoughtfully curated gift packages starting at $89.89. From legendary steaks to mouthwatering desserts and more, save 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $30 off with promo code NFL and a $30 reward card when you shop early. 50% off at Omaha, OMAHA steaks.com, and an extra $30 off with promo code NFL. Minimum purchase may apply. And hey, you know, Locked on Lions is brought to you by our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers, you can bet $5. Bet $5 on the game tonight, Rams and Dolphins, and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. So you get a FanDuel Sportsbook app, gives you everything you need. Plus, you can place live bets on the NFL all in one place. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. Lion fans, I'm so happy for you. 8-1 back home this weekend for the Jaguars coming to Ford Field. Is it a Fox game or a CBS game? CBS game this Sunday at 1 o'clock. Back-to-back 1 o'clock games for the Lions. Have they only played any back-to-back 1 o'clocks all year? Yes, Minnesota and Tennessee were back-to-back 1 o'clocks. This is only the second back-to-back 1 o'clocks the Lions will have all year with the Jags and the Colts. So excited for Sunday, certainly, and the Lions continue to do their thing, man. 8-1, best record in the NFC, got a 1-game lead over the Vikings in the NFC North. All right, it is time for our call of the day. This is Aaron from out of state checking in with our call of the day, which you can access and be a part of at speakpipe.com/dairy podcast page. Here we go.
Hey, Matt. Aaron from San Antonio, Texas, 30 plus years, no longer suffering Lions fan. My daughter and my dad and I make a game or two every year for the last 20 years. We went to both the Cowboys games and the Texans games this year. It's amazing to see these Lions fans just come out at these games now. I think this is the best team in football. I know these are the best fans in football. So my question, or I guess my statement is, just the difference at this time of year being a Lions fan. Over the years, about this time of year, we start worrying about who we're going to draft or who we're going to get in free agency. This year, I'm more worried about which coordinators we're going to lose, Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson. Rich people problems, you know. So, yeah, who are you more worried about losing? I mean, what if we lose both? Anyway, keep up the great work, Matt. I love these Lions, man. This is SNL, man. The same new Lions. Thanks again, Matt.
All right, thank you. There's caller Aaron checking in from down in Texas. Was at the game last night. Asked the question, who am I more worried about losing this offseason, Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn? That's a tough question. Both of those guys have done an unbelievable job. I got a text late night last night from a member of the Lions staff, just said, future head coach. Aaron Glenn has done wonders with this defense. Think about last night. You're facing CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, Joe Mixon, Dalton Schultz. It's a pretty good offense. Bobby Slowick is a good offensive coordinator, and you held them scoreless in the second half. You shut them out in the second half. Ben Johnson, arguably the best play caller in the game. We've been fortunate enough here in Detroit to keep him around, and I think he'll be very selective with his next job. Adam Schefter was on McAfee a few weeks ago and said Ben Johnson wanted the Bears job, but they didn't fire Matt Eberflus. So now if the Bears fire Matt Eberflus, which there were plenty of fire Flus chants down there on Lakeshore Drive yesterday at Soldier Field, would Ben Johnson want to stay in the division and coach Caleb Williams? Or is Ben Johnson just waiting for the Dallas job? Or who knows? We know he doesn't want anything. We know he doesn't want the Carolina job or Washington. Aaron Glenn, I would stay far away from that Saints job. I know Aaron Glenn played for the Saints, coached in New Orleans as well as an assistant. I would not want that Saints job. I think that's a bad job, and I would stay far away. But as far as which one I'd rather keep, I think it's even. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I would have said Ben Johnson, his best coordinator in the game. But what Aaron Glenn right now is doing with this defense is tremendous. It's a tremendous job. You got guys out there you don't even know. Al-Qadim Muhammad is out there playing. Ben Neiman's out there on defense. Guy barely made the team. You've got a lot of injuries, and yet they're finding a way. Finding a way. All right, tomorrow, John Costco is going to join us from Pro Football Focus. We'll get some thoughts from one of the data analysts at PFF on tomorrow's show. And then my man T. Wig, that poor guy, he loves his Jaguars. He'll join us Thursday for the crossover. It is another Monday edition of the books here on Locked On Lions. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts.